Everett is best known for his roles in some of our favorite films, like My Best Friend's Wedding, where he plays Julia Roberts' faux fiance George, and the Shrek sequels, where he was perfectly cast as Prince Charming.
He sure was. Now he's taken on a very different challenge, portraying novelist Oscar Wilde in the critically acclaimed play The Judas Kiss at the BAM Theater in Brooklyn. Morning.
Morning. How are you?
How are you?
Very good.
We were talking about fashion before we got into this.
Is that a Sophie Taylor dress?
It is, and you sat down and you looked at me and you said, "Is that a Sophie Taylor?" How did you know that?
Well, because you can tell her dresses anywhere. They're absolutely beautiful, and I think you should have one next, Jenna.
Oh, tell Sophie.
Well, I'm going to text Sophie right now.
Text her later. We'll go for fitting straight after.
In addition to being a fashion king, you're a phenomenal actor. Big night for you last night.
Last night was our first night in the theater. We're doing a play called The Judas Kiss about Oscar Wilde, and yeah, it was great.
How'd you get up this morning?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it was tough. Yeah, a little bit tough.
Talk to us about when you first became passionate about telling Oscar Wilde's story.
I guess as I got older, I started becoming more interested in history, because when you look at now in a historical context, things start making more sense. So, for example, being gay now, looking at the story of Oscar Wilde and the tragedy of Oscar Wilde's life, because Oscar Wilde was put into prison for gross indecency, basically for being homosexual, and he was sentenced to hard labor for 2 years, which really basically killed him off. You suddenly appreciate where you are now in a way, because so much has changed. And I think one of the exciting things about him is the homosexual movement really began with Oscar Wilde. It wasn't even a word that was really used or debated before the death of Oscar Wilde. So for me, it's a very exciting character. I think he's one of the great punctuation points between the 19th century and the 20th century, and one of the great debates of the 20th century, homosexuality, was started by him. So this play really is the story of that, and it's an amazing play.
And speaking of the story part of the story of our lives, of course, includes My Best Friend's Wedding. 20 years ago?
I know, long time.
Do you still watch it like we do? It's
I watch it every day.
TV all the time, and I get so excited.
No, I don't. I think watching yourself gets a little bit, maudlin after a while. I prefer not to, but it's a film I'm very proud of. I love making it.
Do you ever break into "Say a Little Prayer for You"?
Only now.
Only now. So we got an exclusive. All right. So meanwhile, when you look at the impact that one film had, and many others obviously that you've done, but that film, what do you think was the sweet spot about it?
Well, first of all, it was beautifully directed. Second of all, it had Julia Roberts in it, and Cameron Diaz, and Dermot Mulroney, really good actors. And my part was just an amazing part. I don't think there's such a thing as a good actor so much as a good part. If you've got a good part, you can be quite a bad actor and do really well in it, actually. And my part was just, it was foolproof in a way.
And you have more of those coming.
You're a great actor who has great parts, and this was another tremendous one with Oscar Wilde. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
We really appreciate you joining. And we'll see you downtown where we live.
Yes. I can't wait.
I'm texting Sophie right now. Give you a address.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you
You
very
can
much.
catch Rupert in The Judas Kiss at the Brooklyn Academy of Music.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there, and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives.